I've become convinced that politics ruins almost everything it touches. And in this sentiment, I've gone full circle because this is exactly what I believed when I was a teenager and in my early 20s. And I should be ashamed to admit it, but I'm not ashamed that I still think this way. At least for a while I didn't, but now I'm back to it. Of course, I could appeal to authority and point out that many much brighter people than I have thought exactly this way long before I came along. Folks like Mark Twain, H.L.MENCKEN, Oscar Wilde, Mort Saul, George Bernard Shaw, among others. Buckminster Fuller used to say that if all the politicians in the world were removed, nothing would happen. On the other hand, if you removed all the designers, he said the world would collapse. Now, he was a designer, so he had a vested interest in that, but he was right. What happens is this. A wonderful idea comes down the pike. Say, let's build a little working radio for very, very cheap so that all those millions of people who are out on poor farmland in poor third world countries could hear something, okay? So some designers get together and they make exactly such a thing, and they make it out of a tin can, cow dung, and a copper wire. They actually did this, and it cost less than a penny per unit, and they handed out thousands of them. You'd think the world would rejoice. Hang on a sec for the politics. What happened was these were given to poor farmers in rural India, and they were picking up signals, sit down, from communist China. Oy vey. So the whole thing was scrapped. I've seen many times in my own experience practical solutions to community problems being presented to the powers that be. The problem is that these political leaders have their own agenda: power, fame, accolades, and of course always re-election or election to a higher position. What does this initiative do for me? Does it cement my place in the pantheon? And so on. I have actually sat with politicians discussing a program of one kind or another and seen them switch suddenly from great enthusiasm to absolute cold rejection the minute they realize that this will not benefit them personally in some way. Eventually, if you want to get anything done that requires government participation, and you should always try to avoid that, you must first find and then spell out in letters very large the immediate benefit to the politician sitting on the other side of the table. Such is real life. Compromise, corruption, call it whatever you like. Political stories can make for very good TV and movie melodramas. The only surprise is that audiences think that this is fiction. Pickle. Politics befouls almost everything it touches.